Ever notice how, like, sometimes the most telling moments in a story are, like, the ones you'd least expect? That's what we're diving into today. We're looking at a character named Konohamaru from the world of Naruto.
Okay.
Specifically, his first appearance as described in the My Name is Konohamaru entry
Okay.
on the Neo Seeker Naruto wiki. And let me tell you, this isn't just a quick recap. We're about to uncover how this, like, seemingly small encounter reveals a surprising amount about ambition, legacy, and the challenges of forging your own path.
It's amazing how much you can unpack from just one scene, right?
Absolutely.
This encounter really is a microcosm of the larger themes at play throughout Naruto.
So, for those new to the Naruto universe, picture this. A young ninja is getting his official photo taken. A big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
This ninja is Naruto, the main character, and he's not exactly known for following the rules.
He's a bit of a prankster.
Right.
And that definitely comes through even in this formal setting. According to the wiki, it took him 3 hours just to choose a pose.
3 hours? Sounds like my kind of ninja. Okay, so what kind of pose did he land on after all that deliberation?
Let's just say it wasn't what the Hokage, the leader of Naruto's village, had in mind.
Yeah.
And for those unfamiliar with the term Hokage, think of it as the ultimate ninja master and leader.
Ah, the pressure of living up to those expectations. So not exactly the picture-perfect ninja portrait, then.
Not quite. And the wiki entry really highlights how Naruto, despite his goofy antics, craves acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Even if it's for something silly like a photo.
Yeah.
This yearning for recognition becomes a driving force for him throughout the series.
It's interesting how even something as simple as a photo can reveal so much about a character's desires. But just as Naruto's photo session is wrapping up, things take an interesting turn.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
This is where a brand new character bursts onto the scene.
Konohamaru. And he makes quite the entrance, attempting to attack the Hokage with a shuriken. Talk about bad timing.
And talk about memorable. But there's a small detail here that's easy to miss. A single line spoken by Konohamaru's teacher that hints at a darker side to this world.
What's that?
Remember how Ibisu refers to Naruto? He calls him the monster fox.
Right.
Which might not seem like much at first glance, but it speaks volumes about the prejudice and fear Naruto faces. You see, Naruto has this powerful entity, the nine-tailed fox, sealed inside him. And while it gives him incredible strength, it also makes him an outcast.
It's a powerful reminder that heroes often face hidden burdens. But back to Konohamaru. Despite being attacked by this kid, Naruto doesn't get angry. In fact, he treats Konohamaru like a normal kid, even teasing him a bit.
It's such a stark contrast to how others treat both of them. Naruto, used to being feared and avoided, finds himself face-to-face with Konohamaru, who expects special treatment because he's the Hokage's grandson.
So they're both used to being seen as different, but for completely opposite reasons.
Exactly. And this unexpected encounter is what initially draws Konohamaru to Naruto. Here's this kid who doesn't cower from him, who doesn't treat him like a spoiled brat or a future Hokage. He treats him like an equal. And that's something Konohamaru desperately craves.
So much so that he decides he needs Naruto as his teacher.
Precisely. He begs Naruto to take him on as a student. And surprisingly, Naruto agrees. And that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
You have Konohamaru desperate to prove himself worthy of his lineage drawn to Naruto, who seems to defy all expectations. And you have Naruto often ostracized and underestimated, willing to take on the role of teacher.
Even if his methods are a bit unorthodox.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
The wiki entry describes how Naruto attempts to teach Konohamaru his infamous sexy jutsu.
Right.
Transformation technique that's more comedic than it is useful in a fight.
Classic Naruto. So how does this training session go?
Let's just say it involves a lot of hilarious failures, a few bruised egos, and even a couple of beatings.
Mostly for Naruto, I'm guessing.
You guessed it. But what's fascinating is how this seemingly silly technique actually reveals a deeper message about skill and dedication.
Okay.
Even something that seems simple, like Naruto's sexy jutsu, takes time and effort to master. It's a good lesson for any aspiring ninja.
It's a classic example of how Naruto uses humor to deliver surprisingly insightful lessons. But things take on a more serious tone when Konohamaru reveals why he's so determined to become strong.
This is where we get a glimpse into Konohamaru's true ambition. He doesn't just want to be Hokage because it's expected of him.
Right.
He genuinely desires the title, but for a very specific reason.
Which is?
He wants to be recognized for his own merits, not just as the Hokage's grandson.
Okay.
He wants to step out from his grandfather's shadow and earn the title through his own strength and accomplishments.
Which, when you think about it, mirrors Naruto's own desire to become Hokage, despite the odds stacked against him. They both crave recognition, but their journeys start from opposite ends of the spectrum.
Exactly. And it's this shared ambition that lays the groundwork for their future rivalry. A rivalry that becomes more overt by the end of this encounter. Konohamaru, emboldened by his training, even if it was more comedic than practical, declares that he and Naruto are now rivals.
And how does Naruto react to this sudden declaration?
True to form, he just smiles and walks away.
It's almost like a silent acknowledgement of their shared path. Is Konohamaru serious in that moment? Is he angry? Or is it something else?
That's the beauty of this scene. It's open to interpretation. Was it a challenge? A sign of respect? Or maybe a bit of both? It's left for us, the audience, to decide.
I love how those seemingly insignificant moments can often be the most thought-provoking. But this encounter does more than just hint at a future rivalry, doesn't it? It also reveals how much Naruto's influence is already shaping Konohamaru's perspective.
Absolutely. In the beginning, Konohamaru defines himself by his lineage. He's the Hokage's grandson, practically guaranteed the title simply because of who he's related to. But then he encounters Naruto, this kid who's been ostracized by the village, yet still dreams of becoming Hokage. And he's not just dreaming about it. He's actively working towards it, determined to earn that title on his own merit.
That's got to make you question your own approach, right?
It completely challenges Konohamaru's worldview. It makes him realize that the Hokage title isn't something you inherit. It's something you earn through hard work, dedication, and most importantly, the respect of others. Something that at this point in the story, Naruto desperately wants, but doesn't have.
It's like that saying, you can lead a horse to water. Sometimes people need to figure things out for themselves, even if it means learning from someone they initially see as an outsider, a rival, or even, dare I say, a goofball who teaches them questionable jujitsu.
And what's interesting is that Naruto himself seems to understand this instinctively. He doesn't try to lecture Konohamaru about the right way to be Hokage. Instead, he treats him like a normal kid, challenges him, and yes, even lets him in on a few of his less than conventional techniques.
It's like Naruto, through his actions, is showing Konohamaru a different path, one that isn't solely defined by lineage or expectations. He's showing him that true strength comes from within, from pushing yourself beyond your limits and never giving up on your dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem.
And that's what makes this seemingly insignificant encounter so powerful. It's not just a funny scene between two characters. It's a subtle yet profound exploration of ambition, legacy, and finding your own path to greatness.
It reminds us that the most impactful lessons are often learned not through grand pronouncements, but through genuine interactions, shared experiences, and maybe even a few failed attempts at the sexy jutsu. It really makes you think about how easily we can overlook the smaller moments in life, like those quiet interactions that might seem insignificant at the time, but actually hold a surprising amount of depth.
Definitely.
Like this Konohamaru encounter is a perfect example of that. It's funny, it's insightful, and it sets the stage for this fascinating dynamic that unfolds throughout the Naruto series.
And to think it all started with Naruto trying to take a decent photo. Who knew something as mundane as a registration picture could lead to such a rich exploration of character and theme?
Right. It really speaks to the creativity of the writers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They took a simple premise, a chance encounter, and wove in these universal themes of ambition, identity, and the struggle for recognition. It's a reminder that great storytelling can elevate even the most ordinary moments.
So for our listeners out there, what's the takeaway here? What can we learn from Naruto and Konohamaru's first meeting?
I think it's a call to pay attention. Not just to the grand narratives in our lives, but to the smaller details, the seemingly insignificant encounters. You never know when a conversation, a shared experience, or even a funny mishap might spark a connection or plant the seed of an idea that could change your entire path.
It's like that feeling you get when you revisit a favorite book or movie and suddenly notice a detail you never picked up on before.
Right.
It adds this whole new layer of meaning to the story.
Precisely. And I think this deep dive has done exactly that. It's encouraged us to look beyond the surface of a single wiki entry and uncover the hidden depths within.
And who knows, maybe this will inspire our listeners to do a little deep diving of their own. After all, as we've learned today, the most profound insights are often hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered.